Hey, stop. Pay attention. No, I'm joking. What's up, y'all? It's Chris. We're back for another BizBuzz Live here on Friday, September. It's the last Friday of September, y'all. So we're going to have a conversation. Some of y'all knew, maybe you didn't know. If you follow me on other channels, you might know. But September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So we're just wrapping up a month of educating people about protection, what protection looks like. You think you know about life insurance, but you probably don't know all the things you need to know. So we are talking about it this month. So we're going to use today's BizBuzz Live to talk about some of the insights that we got and address some of the questions or the feedback that we received around life insurance. So stick around. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of BizBuzz Live. I'm your host, Chris Muzan, a financial coach taking you through all things financial. Hope everyone's had a great September. Hope everyone's had a great week so far. It's a Friday. Some of y'all are excited because you don't have to go to work tomorrow. Some of you are looking forward to today and tomorrow and Sunday because that's when you make all your money. Some people got a lot of other things going on, but either way, I hope you made it through the week well. As always, the reason why we do this show here live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, is so that we can have conversations around income, around bringing in income. I've been in the financial space for quite some time now, going on 13 years. And inevitably, whatever conversations I start having with people, whether it be around their taxes, whether it be around their insurance, whether it be around their wealth building tools and 401ks and retirement things, or whether it's their debt or whatever it is, inevitably the conversation comes back to cash flow to some degree, which is how are you bringing in the money, and do you need assistance learning how to earn more of it? Because if you can earn more and keep your expenses low, you can keep more of it, save more of it, invest more of it, change your financial future. But I think as a financial service industry, we do a good job of talking about the how do I keep more of the money? How do we budget? How do we track? How do we make sure that we know where all of our money's going, even though most people don't look at it? But the other side is, how do we bring in more? How do we make more money, right? How does one increase their cash flow? So that's the genesis of this live, of this show that we do. That's where it started. Today, because September happens to be, again, Life Insurance Awareness Month, we want to take a little time to just at least address some of the insight that we got this month around life insurance. So here on LinkedIn, we've put out a bunch of polls this month and even in previous months, just to get feedback, just to find out. I'm very curious. Our team is very curious about where people sit and what people think, because we're in an industry and we're in a business, and our leadership style is that we're here to serve other people. We're here to make sure that other people get to the life they want to create. And we just want to assist in that, whether it's assisting you in making more money or whether it's assisting you in keeping more of the money that you're already making and putting it in the right places. We just want to assist and be a servant in that area. So servants listen a lot. We pay a lot of attention. We don't assume that we know all the answers, have all the answers, know all the right things to be able to do. But the more that you listen, I was taught this by a mentor a long time ago, right? The more that you listen, the more that you learn. And so obviously, the more that you start listening to what are people's thoughts around life insurance, what are your thoughts around other insurance, how informed are you around some of these topics? That's what we took the month of September to do. So we want to share some of those results with you today and just kind of have a brief conversation around the topic of life insurance. Again, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And so we want to make sure we're bringing whatever information you need in order to learn this stuff. Hold on. Cool. I thought I had it typed out, but I didn't. So there we go. September's Life Insurance Awareness Month, y'all. And so let's dive into some of these polls. I'm gonna share my screen here with you, and I want you to see a couple of these poll results. We had about 8 or 9 polls that we did over the month, and again, I think it's just really good information for y'all to take in, for y'all to be able to see here on this side. So let's take a look here. All right, first poll that you see up there, it says, have you ever donated to a GoFundMe for someone's funeral expense? So this was given on LinkedIn. All right, so we gave this on LinkedIn. Some of y'all might have seen this. Thank you for everyone that actually responded to this poll. But you see it's split. It's almost 50-50, but not quite. 44% saying yes, they have donated to a GoFundMe. And 56% saying they have not ever donated to a GoFundMe for someone's funeral expense. While you're watching this live, drop in the chat, leave a comment. Have you ever donated to a GoFundMe for someone's funeral expense? If not, right, drop a no. If yes, say yes, you have. This was curious. This was where this curiosity came from. Really quick, this is where this curiosity came from the fact that there's an article that we had posted, and I think we posted it here on LinkedIn. You can go to some of our other socials and see it as well, that said that GoFundMe said that over 133,000 memorial GoFundMes show up on their was it 133,000? I think so. Yep, 133,000 or something like that. GoFundMes for funeral expenses pop up on their site every year, and they raise over $300 million a year, $330 million a year for those memorial posts. And it said in that article, and maybe we link it or you can go back and find it. It said in that article that 20% of millennials have said that they have actually donated to somebody's GoFundMe for their funeral. And so it got us thinking, like, man, how come so many millennials are donating to GoFundMe? Is it just because it's the cool thing to do? Is it because there's not proper planning? And so that was a question that we kind of explored a bit. And obviously you see here, when it comes to this poll here on LinkedIn, 56% of people said that they hadn't. And I'd probably guess that if I broke this down, those 56% of people probably aren't millennials. And a lot of that 44% probably are millennials. So tip, I guess I should add in, GoFundMes are not life insurance, just so you know. Right? GoFundMes don't help people's kids go to college after someone's parents pass away or family member pass away. Doesn't help your spouse not go back to work. Normally just takes care of funeral expenses. And that's not what life insurance is for. Okay. Second poll that we had put out. If car insurance wasn't required, would you still pay for it? This, again, another interesting question that I had, because being around the insurance space for some time, you start to realize that people really don't want to, the large majority of people, okay, the large majority of people don't want to pay for insurance. They don't want to. Specifically life insurance, right? They just don't want to, they think it's an expense. They don't really want to pay for it. They maybe don't see the value or the benefit, or maybe it's just because they won't see it until after they pass away, right? Their family gets it. But it got us thinking, well, what about car insurance? Like, are you, I know it's mandatory, but would you actually pay for it? Would you sit down and pay for car insurance if it wasn't mandatory? Do you look at insurance in that way the same? And so the reason why that question came up is because, again, life insurance, it's Life Insurance Awareness Month. Life insurance is a form of protection, just like car insurance is, right? Car insurance is a form of protection. Why? Because if something happens to your car, I just hit a deer a couple days ago. right? If something happens to your car, the insurance company will come and protect the value of that thing, of the car. Well, that's what life insurance is for. It protects the value of your life. The value, obviously, we don't have on our life innately. There's no value. You're priceless, but your income can be protected. And when your income is protected, that's the nature of insurance. In case you pass away, in case you can't work, in case then you have it in a policy there that's going to take care and replace your income. I was curious to figure out whether or not people looked at car insurance the same way. I guess not. This surprised me. I thought more people were going to say no. I thought more people would be like, no, I wouldn't have car insurance. I don't see a need for it. I never get into accidents. But maybe you do get into accidents. Maybe more people have gotten into accidents. And so now you know that it's something that you need. Here's something really funny too, by the way. I was thinking about this because I just mentioned, right? I had an accident. I hit a deer a couple days ago. The first thing I started thinking about after being okay is, man, I hope the insurance covers it. I hope there's no clause in there. It says if a deer's coming at you or something, right? I've heard the things that say if you ever are in a situation where you might hit a deer, instead of swerving out of the way to hit the tree, hit the deer, because that is covered by insurance. But all those things started running through my mind as soon as it happened. I'm thinking about, man, now that this happened, hope I hope I didn't change the insurance coverage. I hope this part still works. I hope this that's how I was thinking about it. It's funny because sometimes that's how people think about their life insurance or their health insurance. It's not until something happens to them. It's not until the person gets sick that they're like, oh, do we have our life insurance? It's not until the person gets the diagnosis of cancer, oh man, do I have enough life insurance? It's not until we're on the deathbed, have the car accident, that we start thinking about the things we should be thinking about while we're alive. So that's why they say life insurance gives you peace of mind. Peace of mind, because that's what you start thinking about when tragedy happens. Anyway, third poll that we had here on LinkedIn this month. If something were to happen to you, who would cover your family's expenses? Luckily, 60% of people said their life insurance policy would, which is good. That's the answer we were looking for, because that's what life insurance can do. It covers your expenses. Now, 20% of people said they weren't sure. They're not sure. If they passed away, they're unsure of what would happen. Well, if that's the case, if they're unsure of what would happen, then they're ripe for life insurance. That's right. Cool. Another question that we asked this month said, what age do you think is the best time to get life insurance? Now, most people are speaking out of in their sense of in your 20s. That makes sense. Why does it make sense? Because some people said 30s, some people, one or two people said 40s and 50s. Well, this just shows, again, the mindset. And this is why we ask the questions, because these mindsets are important. Why is it important to get insurance in your 20s, as most people think? Well, because that is in the best interest of you, the client. Life insurance only normally takes in age and health as determining factors. So the younger you are and the healthier you are, the less you're going to pay over time, the more benefits you have for that insurance policy. Okay? When someone has a juvenile policy, when someone gets, like my daughter, when she gets a life insurance policy, a permanent life insurance policy that has cash value that grows, all we need to do is fund that until she's 21, 25 years old, and she is set with some type of account for the rest of her life. Not to mention that heading of life insurance, which God forbid she passed away, passes down tax-free money as well. The earlier they have that policy, the better it is for them. That's the way insurance works. The earlier it is for you, the more benefits you're going to have from that policy. As you get older, you feed into the hands of the insurance company. Now you will have to pay more for less coverage for less amount of time, right? You're paying more for less coverage. They're going to go through. Typically, you got a little older, you're a little unhealthy, you're you're out of shape, you're overweight. You went to the doctor 4 years ago. They prescribed you depression, antidepressants, even though you don't take them. All this stuff starts showing up on your record. And now you have to pay a premium, pay a high price, a cost for you to be able to get life insurance. So that's why we always recommend the earlier, the better. Okay. The earlier you can get these policies locked in, it doesn't matter if you don't have children. It doesn't matter if you don't have anything to insure right away. Then just find the right policy. Policies for kids in their 20s, great term policy with living benefit. I love these policies because it covers it all. If someone's 23 years old and they don't have a kid or they don't have anything, but you can pay $30 a month for $500,000 of life insurance protection for the next 30 years. It never goes up. It's going to take you all the way to age 56 or 53, right? If you're 23, you get it, it takes you to 53. What's the likelihood that potentially you could get have a stroke, get cancer, have a heart attack, have a major car accident, any type of major accident? And now you have money that will pay you while you're alive between the ages of 23 and 53 because you paid $30 a month. That is a benefit added on to just a simple life insurance benefit. What if you are 23 and you get diagnosed with cancer at 30? Should you have waited until you were 50 and had kids? Because now you probably won't get the same type of life insurance that you could have had earlier. There's lots of factors that come into play of getting it earlier rather than later. When you get it later in life, you just have less options. You're going to have to pay more money for the same amount. And then it's not going to seem as worth it, but maybe it's because we weren't planning enough ahead. And so you see the majority of people agree in your 20s, but the people that say your 30s, 40s, and 50s, again, maybe just a different mindset around it. Maybe you grew up on the school of, wait until you have something to insure, wait until you have a family, wait until you have a house, wait until you have all these things. Well, that's why people keep procrastinating, because now those become the excuses as to why you don't want to pay for it. It's like, oh, now, right? Those are the reasons why you should get it. And then once you have all the things, the kid, the house, the car, all the stuff, the nice job, you're like, man, I don't want to pay for insurance. And then we're back in the cycle. So get it earlier rather than later. That's the answer to that poll. Another poll that we had this month. What do you think the number one reason people don't get life insurance? This was spread all across the board. Number one reason people don't get life insurance. The most people on here said it's too expensive. They could be right. But expensive is relative, right? We know that, y'all. We know that expensive is relative. 12% say they don't understand it. So that's an opportunity for education. And if they are willing to understand, want to understand. 24% also said they don't think they need it yet. And then another 24% said they don't trust the industry. So again, we gave these options. Not all of them are good, but these are all things we have to address. Somebody that's been in the insurance space for a little bit of time, been in the insurance space, having these conversations. I've heard all of these things. It's too expensive. Some people just don't understand it. Let's start with the expensive part. Expensive is relative. Would you pay pennies on the dollar for potential, 100,000, you could pay $30 a month, $40 a month for $100,000 in coverage, $200,000 in coverage, $500,000 depending on your age. Is that not worth it? You wouldn't put in more than $360 a year and potentially have a payout for, even if you do that for 10 years, that's only $36,000 for 10 years, over 10 years. No, not even $3,600 over 10 years. 360 times, yeah, 3,600. Something like that. My math might be off, but either way, that's about right. So how much do you pay for your streaming services? I know we don't always have to go here, but how much do you pay for your car insurance? How much do you pay for your car note? How much do you pay for a nice dinner out with your family? How much do you, right? Like expensive is relative. Expensive is relative to the value that you view things through. So if you don't think it's valuable, then of course it's going to be expensive. If you look at it like it's a bill, sure. If you don't get anything back from it, if there's no pleasure attached to it, sure, you might think it's expensive. It's also, I used to hear this in the health space a lot of times when people would say that same thing about eating, organic food or eating lots of fruits and vegetables or whatever. They would say it's too expensive to eat that way. And I used to know people that would say, yeah, it's also really expensive to be sick on the back end and need 7 different medications when you're 65 years old, 70 years old. It's also going to be very expensive to have hospital bills and hospital stays and all types of things that are the consequences to you not eating well. So you can pay it on the front end. You can think that buying organic or eating clean or, whatever those things are, you think you might be more expensive than stopping at Burger King or doing the fast food thing. But in the future, it's going to be more expensive for you to take care of yourself. So it's kind of the same thing with life insurance, y'all. You think it's too expensive now. You know it's really expensive? When your kids can't go to college because you passed away. You know it's really expensive? When your spouse has to go right back to work and can't pay the bills because you needed both of your incomes to live life. You know it's really expensive? When you need that hospice care in-home nursing facility and there's no money there. And then it has to come out of your kids' college tuition or the job that they're working. That's really expensive. So expensive is relative. It's relative. But just know life insurance is not that expensive. You can always find something that fits you. If you don't understand it, educate yourself. That's an important one. If you don't think you need it, we already talked about that. The earlier, the better. A need, it can be a future need. A need can be a future need that you have to identify. That's where planning comes in. If you don't trust the industry, you probably don't trust anything in the insurance space, which is fine. I don't care. But remember, when it comes to the person that's selling you the life insurance, you should trust them. If you don't trust them, then that's fine. Don't do business with them. But the industry, the life insurance industry specifically, is meant to pay out. It's meant to pay out. There's only one clause in there where they won't pay out. But you got to build up some trust to do any of this stuff anyway. In your opinion, what's the biggest barrier to getting life insurance? People say cost and affordability again. The other side is procrastination. So again, cost affordability is a matter of value. That's all that it is. You just paid $37,000 for a car. You just paid $250,000 for a home, right? You just paid $10,000 a year for your kids' tuition. This is going to be, if you have term, under $100 a month, or if you don't, and you're actually using it for cash value purposes and those things, it would be the equivalent to what you're putting in your retirement account. So cost and affordability is an excuse because people just don't see the value, which is fine. Not everyone has to see value in things. But once you understand the value, why would you not pay for it? That becomes the question if you care about your family. Procrastination is the other side. It gets people a lot. Procrastination, but you just got to pull the trigger. You just got to get it done. Once you have the conversation once, you typically don't have to revisit the conversation for years later unless your income grows tremendously. Lastly, the one that we went through with all you people on LinkedIn says, what's your main reason for having life insurance? And I'm so glad it says it in here. The number one reason is to protect your family. Sure, there's an aspect of it that have cash value and you can use it for that. Typically, you got to be a higher net worth person. You got to be someone that either is fully on the entrepreneur side and doesn't have access to some of the investment vehicles that they offer through a job, or you're a high net worth individual and you need other places for tax-free money to be able to be passed down and to borrow against and all the stuff. But the number one reason is to protect your family, is to protect your income, which ultimately protects your family. Life insurance is there to make sure that your income stays in your family for the next 5 to 10 years. God forbid you passed away. And if that's the case and that happens, your family will be protected. The house will be paid for. The kids will go to college. Your spouse will not have to go right back to work to pay the bills. They can grieve properly. They are protected. You've protected your family. Whether you're the husband or the wife, whether you're the breadwinner or the non-breadwinner, by having life insurance, you are protecting your family's legacy for what you want to see for them. If it's the proper amount of protection, that's what it's doing for you. So y'all, just here on September Life Insurance Awareness Month, just wanted to go through some of these polls that we've had here on LinkedIn and see what your feedback was, see what your thoughts were about all of these things. Now it's time to take some action, right? If you have questions about it, if you haven't looked at your life insurance, if you haven't paid attention to what you have as far as protection for your family, not through your job personally, now's the month to do it. We're taking this time out for the rest of this month to make sure you understand how important it is to have this conversation around Life Insurance Awareness Month. All right. So for everybody that's here, feel free to drop a comment. Feel free to schedule some time with us so we can have this conversation with you. If not, you'll see it going across your screen. We created an ebook. That's a Life Insurance 101 ebook. It's at bit.ly/insurance protection 101 ebook. Okay. Insurance protection 101 ebook. Feel free to download that ebook. Answered for the people that answered those polls, like I don't know about it or I don't trust the industry, those things, that could just be a lack of education. And we can't be scared of things we don't know, but learn who to get the information from. I'm more than happy to do that for you. This is the last Friday of September. Next month, we're coming back in and going to have some deeper conversations around some of the other industries and other areas that are out there, people that are making money and trying to build their financial foundation, y'all. All right. So LinkedIn, YouTube, thanks for checking in with us on this Friday. And until next Friday, peace.